that's one of the things I do. I already did a few of them, but I'm just gonna show you guys the rest. And I always close that part of the paper clip. You don't want the jerk bait to, just come out of the paper clip and have it floating around inside the jar. So that's one. Now I do add a small paper clip at the bottom, which I do cut, and then I just make it into a little hook. It's at the bottom of the eyelet or screw eye, whatever you want to call it. That pretty much brings all the clear coat dripping all the way to that little pin, and instead of the clear coat drying on the screw eye or eyelet, it dries on that. So that way you don't have to spend a lot of time cleaning the eyelets or screw eyes. But yeah. Also, I like to blow on them before I hang them. Just a quick blow, and it removes the clear coat from the top and middle one. That's all you gotta do it, and it gives it a very, very clean look. So that's just a little tip I would recommend. Just a quick blow on the eyelets or screw eyes, and it works. You don't need to blow hard. It's just something reasonable. And always make sure to actually close the paper clip at the top part before you're dipping. You do not want the jerk bait to come out from the paper clip, and then have it floating around inside the jar. Now keep in mind, you don't want to have the jar open for too long. So the faster you do this, the better for your clear. But don't go too fast. You don't want to get a lot of bubbles on your jerk baits. You want them to look as smooth as you can. Now, to every single jerk bait I'm like to put them on the corners. That way they don't slide from side to side when I'm moving the tote around. I try not to move it around, and I just keep it. By the way, as you can see, my workspace is very, very small. But I do what I can. Just with little things. If you really want to do something, you make them happen. That's only if you really want to do them. But if you're like, I kind of do, I kind of don't, that's usually when things don't happen. But yeah. And make sure you do wear a mask when you're working with clear coat. That's something I do recommend big time. Wearing the mask. I do have a 3M mask, which I'll put a link for like I said, I'll just put a link for the stuff I use. Mask is something I always recommend. I'm wearing a mask at all times, most of the time. So yeah. But and like I said, you can actually get a cheaper jar, a cheaper mason jar from getting pickles at Walmart. It'll cost you like no more than $5, that's for sure. It's cheaper than buying an empty jar. I mean, yeah, it's cheaper to buy a jar with food in it than an empty one. You go on Amazon, and some of these mason jars are very, very expensive. So, go to Walmart, go to Wally World, and go to the pickle section. Get that, take them out, wash the jar, and you have a very good jar. Now, I do put a wrap, like a plastic wrap around the lid, and that is because it's almost, you can use that as a seal. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you do not want any type of air to enter the jar. The reason for that is because if any air goes into the jar, you're pretty much going to get a hard clear coat next time you open it, or you might not even be able to open the jar. But yeah, this is actually the last one, and I hope you guys actually like this video. These are my methods that I'm sharing with you. Keep in mind, I'm not a professional or an expert, but so far these methods work. And now all I gotta do is put the lid on top of it, close the jar. As you can see, what I was talking about earlier. I actually have like 2 of them, and then sometimes I just kind of like stretch them out again and close them, open them up and close them, just to make sure that I don't have cracks. And then I just close it very tight. You don't want air to go in, or if not, it's gonna get hard. And that's my pickle jar. And you put it somewhere safe, where it's at room temperature. And that's it. You close them. It prevents from all the dust coming in. And here's the finished product. I wanted to add more light, but they look too flashy. It would remove some of the details that I wanted to show you guys. You can see how the pearls actually give the scales like like more depth. So that's why I like to throw pearls on my lures, just because it adds